first date, he took me to a movie, The Suicide Squad. So that's really how fucking casual things were. Oh, can you swear? I swore. I'm sure you can. This is like a sex podcast.
How is your sex life?
Our sex life now is fantastic. And it is absolutely because when we went to couples therapy, our entire relationship changed.
When did you realize that this hookup buddy had husband potential?
Oh my gosh. So I knew that I liked him around our third or fourth date. And I was like, oh shit, I think I wouldn't mind seeing where this goes. But of course, way too nervous to say anything, not knowing how he was kind of feeling. But I actually remember a moment, this was like 6 weeks in to us dating each other. And I think we had made things official, like boyfriend and girlfriend pretty quick, like 4 weeks. So unexpected. But I still wasn't, like, even though I had a boyfriend, I just wasn't in the serious headspace of like, this is who I'm going to marry. I had boyfriends before, so I just didn't feel that different. But there was a moment that we were singing and dancing with each other in the shower to Blink 182 or something. And I cannot explain it, but this just wave came over me that didn't really feel like my internal dialogue, but it just felt like it just was like, this is your husband.
Hello, my loves, and welcome back to Luvbites by Dr. Tara podcast, where we talk about all things sex, love, relationship, dating, marriage. And today with us is Delanie Fischer. And she's the host of Self-Helpless podcast, in which I was on. So definitely check it out. I'll leave the link in the episode description. And she's going to tell us the story of when she was a hookup buddy with her now husband. So from hookup buddies to husband and wife. Hi, Delanie.
Hello, Dr. Tara. I'm so excited to chat with you. You have such great energy. I just enjoyed our chat on my podcast, and I'm so excited to be on yours. So thanks for having me.
People always ask me, like, why are you always excited? I'm like,
hey, life is good.
it's just the way my face is. You know, some people have like bitch resting face.
Right.
Because I just have like a puppy.
Bubbly. Yes. Resting bubbly.
Yeah, resting bubbly. Okay, so this is, even the title to me is intriguing, right? Like from hookup buddies to husband and wife.
Yes.
So tell us, how did you and your husband meet?
So we met by working together. I was technically his supervisor / boss in a way. So, starting off with crossing some boundaries. But yeah, we were, it was very casual. I had gotten out of a relationship within like a few weeks prior. I was not looking for anything serious. I actually had really intentionally said, I don't really want to date for a while because I just want to be on my own. I want to learn about myself a little bit without being in a relationship. Mm-hmm. And then I met Cam within, a handful of weeks after that relationship. And so just trying to hang out and keep it cash, but it did not end up that way, but it did start that way.
Oh, okay. This is not a PSA to fuck your boss.
Yes. And if you do, I hope you get married.
Be careful. Get tired. But okay, so it started with like work friend, like supervisor-ish. I feel like that's a little kinky.
I guess it was.
Power dynamic.
It was, it is kind of funny. And the way that we kind of spent time, because it was hard, can't really spend time at work when you're in that dynamic. But we had both joined the company's softball team. So that's kind of where we got to know each other outside of the office. And, chatted a little bit when you're in the dugout and, stuff like that. Yeah, it was something really silly where like one of my friends on the softball team, when I had left one night, basically was like, is anybody interested in hanging out with Delanie? She's recently single. Because I literally had asked my friend Patrick, like, hey, do you know any, people that might be fun for me to like meet or something? And he literally just shouted it out to the entire softball team when I wasn't there. So that's kind of how Cam said, oh, I'm interested, and ended up getting my number and texting me. But yeah, it was all very messy and casual and silly. We had no intention of really seriously getting into anything. And Cam had just moved from Illinois to California, and he had only been here maybe 6 months. So he was just trying to find his footing, get a job, like get acclimated. He definitely was not looking for his wife.
Well, wait, Before that announcement that your friend Patrick did, like, did you know Cam?
I had known him that he was, he worked at the same company as me. We had met each other in passing a little bit, but not much more than that.
You were the supervisor.
Exactly. Like
You sneaky girl.
he brought some boxes into my office at one point, and that's my initial introduction to him is like thank you for carrying boxes over here that I needed. That was pretty much it. I had seen him around, like we worked at a movie studio lot together, so I'd seen him around like the campus, if you will, and thought he was cute and everything, but I assumed he was way younger than me. Like nothing was on my radar like this could be a serious match for each other. And then found out later on he was actually only a year younger than me, and actually started to like him, which just took me by surprise. Was not expecting it.
So it wasn't like sparks fly immediately, you first time that you lock eyes.
It was, you know what? I remember, like, I think we were initially attracted to each other, but it wasn't expected that we were going to start kind of hanging out. And it definitely wasn't expected that I would know really early on that I actually wanted to be with him. But it's funny that you mentioned the whole spark thing, because I was just talking about this with someone recently that, in past relationships, especially like the toxic dynamic of really high highs and really low lows, I remember feeling like those kind of fireworky moments with a kiss or something.
Yeah.
And, it turns out that wasn't actually love. That was something else. That was like something different energy. My first kiss with Cam, I felt so calm and comfortable. And I know that it sounds so cheesy, but I even said it in my vows to him that I just felt like I was at home. I felt home. And it was so opposite to what I had felt with other people. It felt different really early on, that it kind of, I was taken aback by how safe I felt with him in like a moment like that, where are you supposed to feel this way about somebody you're just hooking up with? Because it feels a bit deeper than that, even just from our first kiss.
Ooh, so maybe that was like cues that your bodies were telling you guys.
Maybe, yeah.
Bodies are very intelligent and sometimes know things before we do.
Exactly.
We have so many blinders. Like, we grew up in a certain culture with certain social customs, and there's so many noise, right? Like,
yes,
just so much noise out there when it comes to dating and sex and love and chemistry, versus like the body just tells you. The body is so intelligent. I'm a big fan of listening to my body, and I haven't started doing this until like when I was 30.
Yeah. Yeah.
In my 20s, I ignore all the like things that my body was telling me. But when I was 30, I was going through like a rough time. And that was really when I started becoming more in tune with my body. And I remember when I first met my now husband, also started as friends with benefits.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah, now husband. So we're like,
yes,
like the friends with benefit to husband-wife pipeline.
I like it, which, doesn't always happen. And I don't condone staying in something that sucks. But yeah.
We can write a book together.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, it started like that too. But I remember when we first met, it was slightly different. Like, there was definitely that like heat, and
yeah,
I almost feel like a longing feeling, like, ooh, like, I've met him over a couple months before we actually like had like a kiss and did something physical. So
yeah,
for me, when we finally kissed, it was kind of fireworks.
Yeah.
But at the same time, felt safe. Like the way,
Yes.
like, wow, this is interesting. Like,
Yeah.
I've never felt like this before. And yeah, it's such a good sign. I think that's a lesson for like everyone listening and watching, is like, it can look like so many different things, but I think the safest thing to follow and trust is yourself, like your body, and if you feel safe.
Absolutely. No, you're so right. I think my body knew something that my brain had some catching up to do, because it obviously was responding a certain way, and it was conflicting with what mentally was going on, and kind of like trying to talk myself out of it in a way. And yeah, just the warmth that I felt was just so different than, I guess, maybe the lust and stuff that maybe from the past that felt a certain way, but then kind of would dwindle or kind of go up and down, where this felt like a steady warmth. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird to like put into words, you know?
People that have it, they know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. Like I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about. Okay, so first date, like it's obviously not a date. It was a yeah. Right?
Yes.
You were just friends and you were hanging out. Was it just the two of you or like in a group?
At first date, he took me to a movie, The Suicide Squad. So that's really how fucking casual things were. Oh, can you swear? I swore. I'm sure you can. This is like a sex podcast. Yeah, so very casual. Suicide Squad. I maybe we held hands a little bit in the movie, barely touched each other throughout the movie, and then he walked me in my car, we kissed, and then that was it. I was like, oh, do you want to hang out after this kind of a thing? He's like, I have to get up for, work pretty early. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm just going to go home. So this was just a movie. Yeah. So I was kind of confused. Like, oh, are we on the same page? We kind of both want something casual, or am I wanting something that, he wants something different? But, and then our second or third day was like, we were hanging out with a group. And then we went back to his place and he turned on Netflix and he turned on the movie The Little Prince. I don't know. His movie choices with when we were dating are so hilarious. And I was just like, yeah, can we move this along into your bedroom? I'm not interested in watching The Little Prince. But
were you more of an initiator?
I was, now looking back, I was definitely an initiator, but I think it was because, because I honestly didn't think I would end up marrying this guy. So I think I was a lot more unfiltered than I usually would be, because I'm like
let's just fuck.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't like, there's the stakes are not very high. I think if it was something I was approaching like where I really am serious about this person, I think I would have handled myself differently. But it's kind of good that he got an unfiltered version of me, I think, because like, we got to know each other in a pretty relaxed way, because I just didn't feel any pressure around it. Like I had to put my best foot forward because this person was somebody I seriously wanted to be with. Like I was just more myself with him from the get-go is what happened.
Love that though.
Yeah.
So when did you realize that this hookup buddy had husband potential?
Oh my gosh. So I knew that I liked him around our third or fourth date. And I was like, oh shit. I think I wouldn't mind seeing where this goes, but of course, way too nervous to say anything, not knowing how he was kind of feeling. But I actually remember a moment, this was like 6 weeks in to us dating each other. And I think we had made things official, like boyfriend and girlfriend pretty quick, like 4 weeks. So unexpected. But I still wasn't, like, even though I had a boyfriend, I just wasn't in the serious headspace of like, this is who I'm going to marry. I had boyfriends before, so I just didn't feel that different. But there was a moment that we were singing and dancing with each other in the shower to Blink 182 or something. And I cannot explain it, but this just wave came over me that didn't really feel like my internal dialogue, but it just felt like it just was like, this is your husband. I have only had a couple experiences like that in my life where I just knew that I would marry him. And we had not talked about marriage. We had not talked about even serious next steps of any kind. And I had had a long-term relationship in the past. I had a handful of boyfriends that I'd been with, and I never got that feeling with them. So again, my body knew something that I did not know kind of mentally yet. Okay. But yeah, there was a very specific moment.
So you guys were hookup buddies for only like a month.
Yeah, it was not that long.
Yeah, for a month of hooking up, and then you're like, okay, let's be boyfriend and girlfriend. Who asked?
Yeah, so we were out to dinner, and it was so funny. He was basically he said, so my friend, he was like, had texted his friend that day. So my friend wants to know if like we're exclusive, are we seeing anybody else? Like, are we seeing other people?
That's
hilarious
strategy. It's good strategy.
My friend.
Phase. Yeah, I have used that many times, and I've taught people to use that too. If they're intimidated to just say it directly, like, hey, what are we? Then maybe just say, hey, like, my friend was wondering, or my roommate was wondering if we're together, or are we like boyfriend and girlfriend?
Exactly. No, it's such a hot tip. Like, oh, a conversation came up with so and so, and there we talked about what are we, right? And so
be a lie too.
Yeah, Absolutely.
This is
Lie your heart out.
this is the time where it's okay to lie.
Yes, exactly. And I just said, oh, I'm not seeing anybody. So yeah, you're the only person I'm hanging out with, basically. And he said, oh, me too. So I guess this means we're exclusively dating or we're exclusive. And I said, yeah, sure. Not thinking anything of it. And then literally like an hour and a half later, we had gone from dinner to a little bar. And again, he brings up, so my friend wants to know if this means you're my girlfriend. And I remember
Firm, you know?
yes, and so I remember the Usher song "Yeah" came on, like, yeah, as soon as I said, "Yeah, sure." And I mean seriously, I to the point like it was such a running joke about this whole my friend wants to know. I really thought that when he proposed to me, he was going to say my friend wants to know if you'll marry me. He didn't do that, but I was like, how many times is your friend going to pop up during serious conversations? Your invisible friend.
It's always it's such a good tip. It's such a
Yeah.
good tip.
Yeah.
My friends wondering.
Yeah, my friend wants to know if you'll move in with me. I'm just curious what I should tell him.
Yeah. My friends wondering if you would let me peck you.
My friend wants to know how you feel about strap-ons. And I don't know. It just came up. He's very curious about it.
Okay, so like you went from hooking up first and then there was like that cute conversation about being boyfriend girlfriend and then how long did you
Yes.
date until you become husband and wife?
I think we were together 4 or 5 years before we got married, something like that. And we got engaged after we were together for 3 years and then COVID happened. So it was a couple years of postponing wedding plans and stuff. And I think we got married at like year 5 and now we've been together almost 9 years. So we've been, yeah, together for 9, married 4 years, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
Well, but you don't know.
I know. My friend wants to know what our wedding anniversary date is because
When is it?
she forgot. Yeah, May 7th.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, anniversary coming up.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So you dated as boyfriend girlfriend exclusively and are you guys monogamous?
Yes, we are monogamous. Yes.
And I know from, just research that after dating for about 3 years, you tend to hit a point where there are a little bit more conflicts and like arguments because
Yeah.
after 2 years, you really show your true colors, right?
Right.
And
Absolutely.
every human being has flaws. And whether or not it can jive with the other person depends on compatibility.
Right.
So at the 3-year mark, what did you start noticing?
Oh gosh. I mean, I think it was even earlier than 3 years to be. I think we
Well, you're very like self-aware and perceptive, so perhaps you would notice it even earlier.
totally. And now looking back, we both kind of realized what was going on, but we definitely hit that weird 7-year itch mark. But in the early years, I don't think we realized how truly emotionally unavailable both of us were in the relationship because I think there is something also about like starting off as hookup buddies and pretending you don't care as much as you do in a lot of the ways. You kind of naturally maybe keep that wall up a little bit. Maybe I don't know if we really transitioned fully in like if it had started off as I'm looking for something serious and so are you, maybe those walls would have come down a bit sooner for us. But we have a different awareness now, obviously, but I thought that if you wanted a romantic relationship, you weren't emotionally unavailable. I didn't think those two things could go together. So the stuff that we were noticing is we didn't have a whole lot of communication skills, as in, it's not like we don't have like big fights or big arguments. There's some bickering and stuff, but almost like if we did have an issue, it wouldn't really get resolved. We would just kind of like, all right, well, let's just move on. We don't
Like,
want to be in
agree,
this.
disagree.
Yeah, we don't want to be in the uncomfortable, right? And so it was a lot of kind of, I think, burying things a little bit or pushing things away, not being completely honest with each other about each other's insecurities or being vulnerable with each other, true feelings or, yeah, anything like that. It took a long time for us to emotionally mature together. It really did.
Did you talk
Yeah.
about sexual preferences and expectations?
That is such a good question. Oh my gosh. I feel like I was probably more comfortable with sharing what I liked and didn't like. So I'm actually my husband's first girlfriend that, he ended up marrying.
Wow.
So he had other relationships before, like other like
What?
situationships before. Yeah. Other hookups and stuff before me, but I
How
was
old was he when you guys
he
got together?
he was 25.
Oh,
Yeah, he
wow.
was 25. So I had a bit more relationship experience. He had sexual relationships and stuff, but
Right.
I felt a little bit more comfortable saying like, "Oh, I'm not a big fan of this, but I like this," and all that. And I think it took him a little bit longer to get comfortable with
Mm,
what he liked. Maybe he was even trying to discover it along the way too.
right.
So I felt like I was communicative about that, but I mean, even that took time in certain ways where it took me maybe longer to share with him like I actually this does nothing for me. Like if it's exciting for you, we can do it, but like I'm not really, stimulated by this in
Yeah.
particular or
What
whatever,
was it?
Okay,
What are
so
you not what are
un-
you not stimulated by?
unpopular opinion. I do not. Somebody going down on me does nothing for me.
What?
Absolutely nothing. You might as well just give me a hug or a handshake. It basically feels like
Wait,
that. Yeah, yeah.
wait, you get
Nothing.
out of here.
I need like heavy machinery down there. Nothing. It's like it truly doesn't feel like anything for me. I mean, it's pleasant, I guess, but not. I don't know.
But do you
So
like other things?
I do like other
Like
things.
on the clitoris? Do you like
Oh yes,
oh,
like I said, like
like
heavy machinery.
tongue?
It's not strong enough.
Right. Heavy
Yes.
machinery. Yes.
Yes, exactly. And so, and sometimes you don't want to make somebody like feel bad if they
Right.
are excited about that or that's something that they're wanting to explore. But yeah, just things like that where like, I just want to let you know, like, I'm never gonna come from this. Like, if that is a fantasy of yours, like,
Right.
we would have to do a couple other things if that is something that you want to experience. But
Yeah.
that's just not how I'm built. Like,
Yeah.
and just stuff like that or even opening up years later feeling like I could finally share like sometimes I need a little bit more attention than you're giving me in the bedroom. Like sometimes it really feels like all about you and when you're done we're done.
Right.
And that took a long time, years, to actually voice that because I don't even know if I was aware of that. Even I don't think I was even aware that I didn't feel like I was getting enough attention. Now that took me a long time to even have that kind of wherewithal myself.
But I love that you're finally able to you feel safe enough in that relationship to voice like the hardest thing to voice is like issues about sex
Yes.
and like your personal preferences and especially things that could potentially hurt the other person's feelings.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
I have a solution for you in terms of him
Oh.
going down on you and you
Okay.
coming from it.
Okay. Let's hear it.
You listening?
I'm listening. Let me get my notebook.
So the solution would be you use a vibrator together. So he uses a vibrator on your clitoris while maybe like grabbing your boobs or kissing you all over, something like that.
Yes.
Almost come. Tell him to switch in and put his tongue on it and go as fast as possible.
Yes.
Then you will come when he's down there. Because
Absolutely.
was there like literally 5 seconds before.
I know that is such a good tip, and we have done that. What I've done before is like I'll use the vibrator, it'll happen, and then I can usually have 3 more pretty quickly right afterward.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, there you go, But it's like
There's a
kind of like
solution.
kind of like potentially killing somebody's dream that like your tongue is not going to be the thing to do it the first time. Like I need something else, and then you can like engage
Yeah.
with it because I'm sure everybody envisions what certain sexual experiences will be like and almost feeling like I'm letting somebody down by not being
Right.
able to give that authentically to them.
Yeah. Here's another lesson that I think, and it sounds counterintuitive, but it is a really good lesson that I've learned as well, is like, don't take sex too personally.
Right. Right.
Yeah, like don't take whatever your partner's preferences are as like it has anything to do with you.
Exactly.
Times, people come in different packages and people come with
Literally.
different they have have different preferences, expectations,
Yes.
life experiences, right? So
Yeah.
whatever, like let's say they like these 10 things in bed, like, oh shit, I only like 3 of those 10, like, now what do we do to kind of mitigate issues in the future? But don't take
Yeah.
things too personally, because a lot of it is just not related to you, kind of like your situation with the vibrator, right? Like,
Right.
it's not about him as a person.
Exactly. I was like,
It's
look,
about you and your own journey and your own body.
exactly. It's like, yes, you can do this for me, but it will take you 45 minutes with your fingers. And I don't really feel like doing that, do you? Like just having those conversations, but like
Yeah.
it really is not personal. This is just how I'm built,
I
you
tell
know?
my husband, like, work smart, don't work hard.
Yeah, exactly. Let's bring a tool out if we need to.
Yeah.
Yes,
I know how to
exactly.
pleasure myself. Let me teach you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you did mention 7-year itch, and I assume that that's
Yeah.
already within the marriage.
Yes, we had been married for a couple years, I think. Yeah, we had
This
been
is
married a
like
couple
the
years.
transition to, I would love to talk about how couples therapy saved his
Yeah.
marriage, because
Yeah.
you had mentioned that, and I thought it would be such a good lesson and story for the viewers and listeners, like
Absolutely.
how couples therapy saved your marriage.
Absolutely. And I really like the fact that it saved us. I do feel like would we have gotten a divorce at some point? I'm not sure, but we definitely would have been just like people living alongside each other, disconnected and not having the connection that we both really wanted. So, yeah, about 7 years in, I just, we had been, it started like feeling more like a roommate situation than anything. Like we were still having sex and stuff every once in a while, but that had really like dissipated a bit. I mean, maybe every 4, 6, 8 weeks. So certain things were like happening. Yeah. And then you hear that like, oh, that's kind of normal, like a normal trait, kind of drop off and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, but something doesn't feel right. There was also just like I felt unheard in the relationship. He felt like I was too hard on him. We were just missing each other on so many levels. And I got permission to share this stuff from my husband. So,
Yes.
he had some like addictive issues that had kind of gotten worse. And this was both like, substance and like behavioral process stuff. And we, through couples therapy, we have since learned that he likely has ADHD that went kind of undiagnosed, untreated. And so he was trying to soothe himself with things that became very addictive and were really getting in the way of our relationship, like lack of presence on his part, not being able to remember to follow through on things. I just felt like I was kind of alone in the relationship in a lot of the ways. And then I wasn't coming to him very softly because I was pissed. Like I just felt like I'm doing all the chores. I don't have help. I didn't feel like I had a true partnership a lot of the time. And he was very much kind of in his own little world. And so that all just kind of came to a head where I come from divorce myself. There's a lot of divorce in my family. And I know, like, for me, I would never throw that word around unless I was truly unhappy and really needing a change. And so I felt like I kept saying, like, something needs to change. And then nothing really would. And he didn't have an interest in therapy for himself or couples. And I was like really wanting that. And so it just kind of came to a head where like we can't go on this way. I'm not happy. And I think we need to really like, are we going to make this better or are we going to go our separate ways? Because it's the first time that divorce even came in my mind. And I am somebody who wants to try literally everything before that, like knowing that I've exhausted all my options. Of course, not staying in something terrible, like not that. But I don't think we had not even hit the tip of the iceberg with things that we could try together. And so, yeah, he totally agreed that something needs to change. He, there was just a lot of revelations that he had to come into himself about his behaviors and like the addiction stuff. And we did individual therapy, couples therapy. And I mean, the difference was so tangible, so fast. It felt like I saw immediate changes. I mean, there was some serious 180s very quickly, which I was grateful for because I was kind of at the end of my rope, if you will, where I don't know where we would be if if the changes weren't pretty significant, pretty fast. Because I was exhausted with trying to like solve whatever was going on with us, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, what were the three things that you learned at couples therapy?
The biggest one was that I was codependent. Didn't realize that, and of course, I guess that means he is too, right? I just like learned that recently. Like, oh, codependence is both people are having, you know, yeah, exactly. And so I realized that I was kind of coming from the place of I want to like fix and I want to be the fixer. I want to like, and I felt like more of a mom a lot of the time. And I didn't want that. I don't even want to have kids. I don't want to be a mom.
Being a caretaker isn't sexy.
No, I did not feel like it was sexy. And he kind of was okay in the role of being taken care of, right? And so we learned that pretty early on. And a big lesson for me was like, from our therapist, who's really great, and just like, you have to let him either fail or succeed without you. Yeah. And by stepping away and not doing the things that you are doing to kind of keep this train rolling, you're going to have your answer. And like, that was really scary. Like knowing that if for so long I thought, oh, by me doing all these things, I'm helping both of us. And like that, I'm really just protecting myself. I'm protecting myself from the potential truth that if there isn't effort on his part, I then have to sit with, oh my God, I'm devastated. Not only I'm devastated because maybe I feel like he doesn't think I'm worth, you know, putting a certain amount of effort in, or then I'm devastated that my marriage is over, or I'm very inconvenienced because now we got to figure out how we're splitting things up and who's moving where. So I realized that, I thought that I was like being more selfless than I actually was. And it was really me protecting myself big time in that. That was fun.
Wow. What were other lessons?
Oh yeah, other ones. We both realized we were pretty emotionally unavailable in the relationship. We were nervous to like be vulnerable with each other. I think he realized
7 years in.
Even after 7 years in, which is unbelievable when I think about that. Like
happens to a lot of couples.
Yes. And he a big discovery for him, I think, was that he always felt rejected by women growing up. Like I said, I was his first girlfriend. And so he had shared at one point that I think he felt that it was only a matter of time, maybe before I rejected him too. So he had this like wall up where he was almost like rejecting me before I could reject him in a way. So like, you know, maybe I would make an advance on him, like, hey, let's go, you know, have sex or whatever. And he would just, you know, either not be interested or whatever. Like there was just a lack of emotional and physical intimacy towards that end period. So that was a big one. So yeah, the emotional unavailability, codependence, and those were like the two really big ones. I'm trying to think of a third. I think, well, the fact that he likely has ADHD. He doesn't feel the need to get an official diagnosis because he kind of is doing some holistic things for right now. But just that was helpful because I stopped taking certain things personally. He stopped taking certain things personally. And we tried to figure out new systems to communicate that made sense for just how his brain works, and how mine is different in a lot of ways.
Did your therapist explain like what problems that occur were due to his ADHD?
I think that some of the things that kind of like the like substance, like he was smoking a lot of weed, like way too much, like stuff like that, where he was kind of self-medicating. And, you know, I guess there's a big correlation between ADHD and addiction, maybe, especially maybe if it's untreated or something, that you need like so many dopamine hits or something with the dopamine. So he kind of explained, you know, these are certain things that maybe have a hold on him because of something going on. You know, you guys can work on it. He needs to work on individually. So he ended up seeing like an individual addiction therapist and stuff like that really helped. So yeah, that was huge because I was taking a lot of things personally that when it was just kind of confirmed that this is like he's kind of a textbook. He has these textbook symptoms of neurodivergence, and it has nothing to do with you. This is a him thing. That was kind of helpful to have that because I felt very in the dark of like, what is going on with my husband? And I can't get through to him and he doesn't want to talk about it, So that was a really big one for us too.
One of my favorite sayings is, "It's an issue, not an ish me."
Oh yeah. Yeah. God, I love it. I love it. Yes, so good.
Like, I know we have an issue right here, but it's an issue, not an ish me.
Right. Right. And I think another one that like I learned for myself is just I didn't really know how to set boundaries and actually follow through with them. Like I could have absolutely earlier on when I knew something was not great or I wasn't very happy, I could have said, this is the expectation I have. If it's not met, I have to go. I didn't do that. So that's my part in this where I was there trying to figure out like playing detective, like what's wrong with him or what's going on and what can I do to help? Like I was doing way too much. I mean, I was putting like sticky notes on his computer to remind him about doing certain things. And I was like putting baskets all over the house, be like, oh, maybe this will help him like put things away. I was trying to like really mom him and
Women do that a lot.
oh my gosh. And realizing I don't have to do that. What?
Oh.
Oh, yeah. That was a revelation for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So when it comes to couples therapy, I think a
Yes.
lot of people that are watching and listening, they're probably the one that's like, "Ooh, I want to go. Now, how do I get my partner to go with me?"
Oh,
So
yeah.
I would love to ask you to share some tips of how do we get our partners to go to couples therapy with us.
Oh gosh, that is such a great question. And I honestly don't even have tips because for us, it was like more of an ultimatum. I mean, unfortunately, it was like the wall had been hit and a huge boundary had been crossed. And it was like, are you in this or are you out of this kind of a thing? And
Were
I'm
you the
so
one initiating it?
yes, I was the one initiating it. And we've talked even now, like I was like, if I had given that earlier, would that have even worked? And he's like, I don't know because I wasn't aware of the problems that I was having. So if I was unaware and then my wife is coming and saying, hey, it's this or that, I would have been like, nothing's wrong. This is a you problem, right?
Right.
And so he doesn't know if he would have actually been receptive earlier on. And I think that's kind of tough. Like both people have to kind of be aware that, if somebody is unhappy, it's a both of us kind of issue if we both want to be there and solve
The
it
tango.
together. Yeah. And so I don't know if I have a tip because for us it was like very much like it was like a lifeline, I think,
Yeah.
in a lot of ways.
Did you
Yeah.
shop for different couples therapists? Because not all therapists are made
Yes.
equal. Like
Oh my
some of
God,
them are
such a
not
good
good.
question. Yes. Oh,
Right. So
yeah.
did you?
Yes, we had one.
Oh.
Our first one was not great. And so luckily I had been to therapy before, so I'm like, look, we're gonna keep looking until we find somebody. And then our second one was great. So we've
Oh,
been with
great.
that one ever since. But yeah, no, it's so funny because I have a personal growth podcast and people just assume that like, ooh, I just love all therapy and I'm, always in therapy. And I'm like, no, like there are some therapists that actually could make things worse. Like you have
Oh,
to
yeah.
you have to try them out and it's almost like dating until you find one that makes sense for, you or both of you in this sense when it's
Oh, yeah.
a couple's situation. Yeah.
I had a therapist that made me feel really bad for what I wanted sexually.
Oh boy.
So,
Yikes.
so yeah, I'm not a big fan of all therapy. Like I
No.
need to shop around first to like find my
Exactly.
person.
Exactly. And I also don't think like people need to be in it. Like I mean everybody's different, but like I'm definitely not somebody who thinks I'm it makes sense for me to do it all the time. I think
Right.
there's certain phases of my life where I might a
Yeah.
bit more than others, but I think people just kind of make assumptions because I've been part of like a personal growth like mental health
Yeah.
podcast that I'm like
Yeah.
everybody needs therapy every day and I'm like I think it's a tool and I
Yeah.
think it can be used intentionally and you have to be very mindful about who you let into your
Mhm.
life and relationship.
I also really love my life coach /
Ah, there you go. Nice.
very
Yes.
LA thing, but I really do. She really gets me. Every time we talk, I like cry my eyes out because I just feel like I'm so vulnerable and I'm able to be like so raw.
Yes.
So I love her approach, which is a more tailored approach rather than following like Western therapy frameworks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like getting other practitioners in there. Exactly. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, and this we've kind of talked about this in therapy, is that he wasn't he wasn't sure if me approaching him earlier when it wasn't such a dire situation if he would have said yes to it, because part of like how he explained in therapy that his brain works is that sometimes he doesn't really see that it's an issue until it's a big one, right? Like the way that, I don't know whether it's something along the lines with ADHD, like he kind of like lets things get to a little bit of a breaking point before he takes a certain action. And so he doesn't know if it would have been effective. Like we may have never done it together, or maybe he would have done it reluctantly and wouldn't have actually been hearing anything that was said. So it's such a tough one because all parties really need to want to make things, improve things, and learn about each other.
Yeah. Okay, my last question is about your sex life.
Okay, bring it on.
About your sex life.
you know,
How long
it's
have you been
secondly-
married? So first, now, how
Yes.
long have you been married? Now,
Yeah, 4 years. Married for 4 years, together for 9.
Oh, yes. Okay,
Yes.
it's been 9 years together.
Yes.
How is your sex life?
Our sex life now is fantastic. And it is absolutely because when we went to couples therapy, our entire relationship changed. I mean, like this is now 2 years ago. We have never felt more connected, more honest with each other. I mean, he's doing great. Like he's got his stuff kind of under control. He like really overcame some addictive things, and I'm really
that.
proud of him for that. I
Yeah.
feel like I've overcome like the codependent part of what I was doing.
Yeah.
And so I feel like our sex life now is like it's even better than it was in the beginning, which
That's amazing.
I didn't think was a real thing that could happen. I really thought like, the longer you go with each other, sex will dwindle, connection will dwindle, all these things. And now I've had to face those like pre-existing beliefs that I had. Like, oh no, wait, people can change and grow together, and your relationship can actually get better over time. I just don't think I saw examples of that really myself in a lot of ways. So I didn't think it was real. But I think part of me is confirmed that, when I was going through that period of time when we were only having sex, 6 to 8 weeks or whatever,
Yeah.
this is not what I want in my marriage. And when you actually addressed some of the internal things or emotional things going on, the sex just became an organic result of us feeling more emotionally connected with each other. Now it's like, I mean, at least once a week. I mean, at least, like, and that feels pretty good.
That's amazing.
Of
And
course,
that's
there'll
what
be phases. Yeah.
the research found as well is like people that have been in long-term relationships that have a really strong emotional connection tend
Right.
to report higher sexual satisfaction.
Yes.
And I think that's when you have worked on yourselves and together.
Exactly. And I do think that,
This is a good example.
yes. And, I do think there's that point in a relation. I think maybe not, but I would say most relationships kind of come to this point, whether it's 7 or 8 years in, which is a lot of people in my life, that 7 or 8 year mark can be tough. And it's kind of like, are we staying or are we going? Are we in this and are we doubling down and we're going to grow together, or are we going to part ways and, do things on our own? And I'm really glad that we decided to see where this like new version of our relationship would go, because truly have never been happier. Like he is the husband of my dreams now, and I think I'm hopefully the wife of his, and that wouldn't have happened with some really tough shit and real deep work and looking at ourselves and each other differently.
Really love when both people are putting in the effort.
Yes.
That's the key.
Exactly. Exactly.
The last segment of this show is called 5 Quickies with Dr. Tara.
Okay.
Oh, I'm going to give you a word or a sentence and then just give me a quick response from what you're thinking.
Okay. Amazing.
So 5 Quickies with Dr. Tara. Number 1, sending a sexy text.
Oh, and I just think, what am I thinking?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that sounds fun. Yes, I like doing that.
Number 2, dirty talk during sex.
Yes, but I like it minimally. I like certain kinds, but not all kinds.
So not into humiliation?
No, nope, doesn't really strike me as something I want to get into.
Oh, I love it. Number 3, saying sorry first.
Yes, I feel like I'm pretty good at that. Cam has become better at that too.
Number 4, planning date nights.
Yes, love date nights.
Do you plan or does he plan?
We take turns now. It used to be
Great.
a lot of me planning and like dragging him out of the house, and now he is like type A planner guy. I love it.
Favorite sex toy?
My vibrator, which is really the kind of only one that we've had. Like
What
this,
kind?
it's the Hitachi magic wand.
Oh, okay. So like
Yes.
strong.
The really strong. Like it is a jackhammer, my friend. It is.
That you like pluck in the wall, right? There's a really OG.
I got a wireless one, but yeah, there are the ones that you got to keep plugged in. But honestly, like we are a big fan of kind of like, as they say, like vanilla sex.
Yeah.
We love that. Like we have a little bit of spice. It's like our sex life is like a chai latte. It's like
Right.
it's not just black tea, but it's like there's some cinnamon in there. There's some
Yeah.
stuff. But
But your hashtag vanilla pride.
yes, I absolutely vanilla pride. We like what we like, and we kind of stick to it. And maybe every once in a while we'll try something new. But
I love that.
yeah.
Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, DelanieFischer.com is my website with all the information about my podcast, a book that I have out, all that good stuff. You can find it there.
Thank you so much, Delanie.
Yes, thank you. This was so fun.
And my loves, thank you so much for listening and watching till the end of the episode. I love you guys. Please click like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Just love hearing from you. And per usual, have an orgasmic day. Bye. Yay.
Yay! Awesome. That was so fun.
Thanks for listening. This was Love Bites by Dr. Tara. Follow Dr. Tara on social media at lovebites.co. Have an orgasmic day.